Newsom and his press office, they are continuing the shenanigans and the mockery of Donald Trump and the MAGA administration. But before we get into that, take this screenshot. You need it. This says hot air traffic control. And Donald Trump is saying, don't worry, I'm an expert with this equipment. They capture the essence of his eyes, the white outline and everything. This is amazing. Please take this. Now, why did they put out that picture? Why are they talking about the hot air traffic control? That's because there are shortages going on. And y'all, this is probably not the best time to fly. What Donald Trump and the Trump administration did with the FAA at the beginning of the year, remember, airplanes were falling out of the sky at the beginning of the year. That was this year. Now we have this shutdown and people are not getting paid. The traffic controllers are not getting paid. TSA is not getting paid. These people that make the federal airports run are not getting paid, but they have to go to work. And remember this man right here, Sean Duffy. He came from the Road Rules Challenge. He's now the Secretary of Transportation. He's talking to Gavin Newsom as if Gavin Newsom is the one responsible for the shutdown. Sean Duffy says to Gavin Newsom, you are unbelievable. The reason we're shut down is because your party can't get its priorities straight. Democrats prioritize things like free healthcare to illegal immigrants over making sure our hardworking air traffic controllers at Burbank Airport get paid. These people are liars, but MAGA supporters don't fact check. They don't care about facts. They'll just accept any and all this BS that they feed them. Sean Duffy was on Fox News saying that. Gavin Newsom reshared that, saying no air traffic controllers for 6 hours at Burbank Airport yesterday. Massive delays, flights canceled, but Sean has time to do Fox and Friends and complain about how a governor hurt his feelings. When the press office reshared it, it says, a transportation secretary whining on Fox News and a president asleep in his golden palace. But for us regular folks, more expensive healthcare and airports without workers. Not so much a golden era as a grift era. And remember, like I said, this is probably not the best time to be flying with the Trump administration at the helm because these people are not getting paid. Can you imagine having to go to work and not getting paid and knowing that you really don't know when they're going to come back into session and put you back on the payroll? The press office says airports are now going hours without air traffic controllers because of the Trump shutdown. Donald Trump wants to take your health care away and delay your travel and make it not as safe. I'll make this bigger from ABC. It says Burbank Airport will have no air traffic controllers Monday evening, FAA warns. Let's go back to this tweet where it says right here, and the president asleep in his golden palace. Dan Scavino was in the Oval Office taking a video of what the Oval Office looks like right now. And they just got a bunch of gold plastered all over the place. Look at this. This just looks tacky and gaudy. So Gavin Newsom reposted this Trump Toinette picture, and it says, no health care for the stupid peasants, but look at the Queen's golden office. Gold bidet not pictured. Gavin Newsom made this tweet. He says Donald Trump was the president in 2020 and shared this tweet from someone named Senator Jim Banks. Jim Banks says the 2020 census was a fraud. The Biden administration used a shady privacy formula that scrambled the data and miscounted 14 states. It included illegal immigrants and handed Democrats extra seats. And like Gavin Newsom said, let's reiterate, Donald Trump was the president in 2020. Senator Jim Banks is talking about the 2020 census. So I click into Jim Banks's tweet. Let's continue it. It says, it included illegal immigrants and handed Democrats extra seats. Americans deserve a fair count and I'm fighting to fix it. So that's what he's talking about right here. So this letter that's written to Howard Lutnick says, I urge you to investigate and correct errors from the 2020 census that handed disproportionate political power to Democrats and illegal aliens. So this is their justification for doing a bunch of gerrymandering, even though who was president during the 2020 census? They keep acting like facts don't matter. This continues with the Census Bureau adopted a new and opaque methodology called differential privacy that by design scrambles the population of states and voting districts. Okay, these people are just liars, liars, liars. But that is what Senator Jim Banks was saying. And then the great gig says, Grok, explain in caveman voice who was president in 2020. Brace yourself for this. All right, it says, me Grok, big year 2020. Orange man Trump, big chief president whole time, from cold start to end. Cave vote pick Sleepy Joe, but he sit throne 2021. Census count happened under Trump fire. No Biden yet. Grunt. Hilarious to me. But I think some people need this language. Dame is laughing. Sue says, holy moly, that's awesome. Fellow traveler says, holy shnikes. Everybody is laughing because that is funny. Donald Trump is still justifying sending federal troops to American cities. And here's the quote from him, not playing the video. It says, and we got a bill passed that I said, let's see if we can get it all done because these Democrats are like insurrectionists, okay? They're so bad for our country. Okay, Donald Trump calling Democrats insurrectionists. That is the point that is being made here. Before I move forward, I had to get a little bit closer. Look at all this gold. That looks terrible, but that's not the point I was making. Donald Trump still looks a hot mess. Face just looking puffy. He's looking old. Eyes looking a hot mess. Are we saying 90% dead? I don't know. Y'all let me know. We thought that he was gone a couple of weeks ago. He's still here. So I don't even know the percentage number anymore. But he's apparently still alive because he was on video talking. Gavin Newsom reshared that clip. And then he shared the failed insurrections of January 6, 2021. This is what an insurrection looks like. And then Fozon Capital commented underneath Gavin Newsom saying, this dude right here, he says, don't forget this January 6th insurrectionist who was then arrested again for being a child PDF file. And then he shares this article headline, Houston man pardoned by Trump, arrested on child X charge. This person right here, this is their insurrectionists, but they keep talking about the Democrats being insurrectionists. Aaron Rupar shared this clip of MAGA Mike Johnson dodging this question. This says, Mike Johnson ignores a question about when he'll swear in Representative-elect Grijalva and walks away because Representative-elect Grijalva says that she will sign off on the release of the Epstein files, but MAGA Mike Johnson won't swear her in. Now, this person, Novice Trader, wants to know, Grok, legally, how long can Mike Johnson continue to avoid swearing in Representative-elect Grijalva? And what does this mean for Grijalva's ability to fulfill the task of her democratically elected position? Grok says the House rules don't specify a strict timeline for swearing in new members. It's at the Speaker's discretion, often done when the House is in session. Precedents show swearing ins outside of sessions, so indefinite delay isn't typical and could face challenges. Johnson has said he'll do it next week, but as of October 7th, it hasn't happened amid recess and shutdown. Until sworn in, Grijalva can't vote, join committees, or fully represent her district, delaying services for constituents. So he's really trying to avoid this, but how long can they really avoid coming back in session? Like the cover up or the avoidance of it is making him look worse. Gavin Newsom reshared that and simply said, pathetic. I go over to Donald Trump's Live Social page, and this is what I see. They're still just trying to pin everything on the Democrats. This says, government shutdown is Democrats' political weapon against American families. I want to remind us all that Republicans have the presidency, they have both houses of Congress, and they have the Supreme Court. This is all on Republicans who can't govern. They can't even come together as their own party and pass any kind of legislation. This is another one. Democrats, illegal aliens first, Americans last. This is at 5:09 this morning. Deranged Jack Smith got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, a real sleazebag. This is how he is talking at 5 o'clock in the morning.
It is true that in previous shutdowns, many or most of them have been paid for the time that they were furloughed. But there is new legal analysis. I don't know the details. I just saw a headline this morning. I'm not read in on it, and I haven't spoken to the White House about it. But there are some legal analysts who are saying that that may not be appropriate or necessary in terms of the law requiring that back pay be provided. So I'm sure that'll be there will be a lot of discussion about that. But there are legal analysts who think that that is not something that government should do. That, if that is true, that should turn up the urgency and the necessity of the Democrats doing the right thing here. Even more pain, more than I just listed, for more people. So we got to figure it out. Back row.